Dear student, welcome again. We were in part 6, that is staffing, one of the very important function of the management. In the staffing, we were discussing the module 26 to 30. So far, we have got an understanding about the concept of the staffing. We have an idea about what are the characteristics, main functions, what are the various steps required in the staffing in the module 26. Module 27, we have got an understanding about the recruitment process. Recruitment process, if you can remember, is the process of searching for the candidate for the required post in the organization. Next, in the module we have discussed about the selection process. Thoroughly we have understood it with some examples. Selection process is a negative process, if you can remember. It focuses on selecting the candidate from the vast pool of number of candidates applied for. Okay. So, once the candidate are selected, we have discussed about the next process is the training and development. If you can recall, we have discussed the importance of the training, what are the benefits which should be the employers and the employee will be getting through the training and development programs. Okay. So, staffing process we have thoroughly understand about all the intricacies of the staffing as a function of the management. In the very last module, as you can see in this PPT, we will be understanding the very important concept, that is career development and performance appraisal. Now, before we start this particular topics, two topics, we will try to relate the things we have studied so far in the staffing. Like if you remember that we have discussed the basic process of the staffing, 4 important steps that we need to go for. Okay. Very first one is like planning for the human resources is the very first step, that for starting any new project, the company will be requiring some technical manager, some conceptual manager, some manager who are very good at the human skill, that we call it a human skill manager. Okay. So, planning for the requirement of the different skill set for a particular project is the planning phase. Okay. Next, the manager or the company, what they will be emphasizing, like they know that we require 50 employees for a particular project, 50 employees of different skill set. Okay. Now, the next move will be how they are floating the advertisement or calling up the candidate to fill the required post within the organization. So, that will be your recruitment stage. In the recruitment we have seen there is no limit on the number of applications to be filled on. If the candidate are filling or making the requirement of the basic eligibility, the more number of candidate will be applying for the job. That is the objective of the recruitment process. Now, the selection process is like how many employee you require, you will be choosing those candidate from the vast pool of the number of candidate applied for. Like we have taken the example for the post of 50 candidate or for the 50 vacant post in the organization, 500 employee applied for. But what is the objective of the company at the planning stage? That they need only 50 employees. They will be going for the selection process. That is why it is a negative stage, or we can call it as a demotivating stage for the different candidates. Okay. Now, the last process of the overall staffing as a function is your development of the employee. 50 employee got selected. Now, those 50 employees should be given some kind of career guidance. Okay. Their standard should be set. they should go for some kind of training and development program that we have learned in the earlier modules. Okay. So, this is the base, or we can call it, this is the stage through which we will be understanding about the career development and the performance appraisal. Okay. So, what is career development? As you can see in this slide, it consists of activity undertaken by the individual employees and the organization to meet the career aspiration and the job requirements. So, two elements are there in the career development. Obviously, one will be the individual employee and another will be the organization for which the employees are working. So, as you can see in this model is career development model. This model was propounded or given by Professor C.B. Gupta. Okay. So, organizational career plan and individual career plan. So, two set of element are necessary, two different stakeholders or two different entities will be there in the overall career development of an employee. As mentioned, one will be the organization itself and the individual or the employee. Okay. Now, what are the roles that each of the parties will be playing in the overall career development of their staffs? Okay. So, as you can see, the organization, the points are integrate short term and long term human resource need in the organization. So, very first one is the planning stage itself. Okay. So, integrating the short term and the long term human resource need. It may be that you require a particular set of employee for a short term project, maybe of 3 months, 6 months, and you need an expert to provide some technical expertise, okay, or you may need some expert who can be helpful in idea generation. Okay. So, both are of different nature, one is of technical nature, another is of your conceptual nature. So, it depends on the longevity of the project, if it is a short term or if it is a long term. So, very first one is the planning process itself by the organization. Second is develop a career plan for each of the employee. Now, for the short term plan or for the long term plan, both the objective should be met out by hiring some of the employees within the organization. Okay. Now, the career development is like developing a career plan. We will be discussing what is career plan and all. Okay. What is the different stages through which the career plan of an employee can be set out. Okay. So, second stage is developing the career plan. So, at the organization level, you will see that they will be like based on the type of the objective that they are planning for, whether it is a short term or a long term human resource need. Okay. And for each long term and short term, how many employees should be recruited and develop a career plan for them. This is the orientation from the organization part. Okay. This is the organizational view or the organizational part. Now, what will be the employee view? Employee view will be the individual career path. Very first one is personal interest and abilities. So, in this particular box, we are discussing about the individual employee with respect to their likes and dislikes, their abilities to perform the duties. Okay. Some employee may be very ambitious to complete a project, or very ambitious to play a role for the organization and for their career goals as well. But all employees are not like, but at the same time you also need to make sure that the different variety of the employees are working in the group. Okay. So, identifying their personal interest and abilities is one of the key factor for the organization. Second is what are the organizational opportunities available for the development part. Okay. How an employee will be able to know it? Through the different policies or the structure or like the promotion part, how one employee is promoted to another level, okay, what are the essential qualification or the experience required, what will be the duration. Okay. So, these information will be served as the opportunities for the individual employees. And last one, strategies to achieve career goals. Suppose one employee at the supervisory level plan to like reach out to the middle level manager. Okay. So, career development is a strategic thing, like the employee should have the information like how many years it will take from one post to another post, or that is the promotion. Okay. What are the essential qualification they should be having for the promotion and other aspects as well. So, if all these things are available at the organizational organizational level, or employee is having the access to all those information, they can set their individual career plan. Okay. Now, both the employee thing as well as the organizational plans, this should be integrated. This is the second stage, as you can see. Integration or integrate organizational needs and individual career goals. Okay. So, the management should try to like combine what are their organizational needs or what are their organizational goals and what are the aspiration of the individual employee. If it is an integration, both the aspects are matching, it is a win-win situation for the organization as well as the individual employee. All right. And last part, moving to the last part, that is the career development. Now, career development, 4 points as you can see in the slide. Very first one is implement career plans. Okay. So, overall whatever the individual or the organizational things we have discussed, it is the career plan. Second is appraise employee performance. Now, if total or a view of the organizational structure, through that particular structure an employee is getting an information or like planning or strategizing the promotion part. Okay. Like one employee acts at the supervisory level, has the knowledge or has the information that after 10 years the particular employee X could become a manager. Okay. Provided that they are attaining some kind of training and development program. Okay. They are having more technical skills. Okay. And they are adding some qualities as well. Okay. So, this will guide as a like a benchmark, or they will be setting up their objectives, okay, that within 10 years we need to have these kind of qualities. Okay. So, if an employee is doing that, the employee performance appraisal is like how the employees are outperforming within the jobs which has been assigned to them. Okay. So, career development, very first one is developing the career plan. Okay. Appraise employee performances. If the employee is outperforming, they should be appraised or they should be given some kind of incentive. Employee development through training and development program. Okay. Like it is the part of the management that with time the employee should be trained with the contemporary changes in the management practices. Okay. And last one is evaluate career progression. The management should plan or they should be giving the guidance to the employee regarding how they can excel their performances. Okay, that is your career progression and how they can move towards the career advancement or career goals. Okay, like we have taken the example, one employee at the supervisory level, they plan to reach towards the middle level manager. So, this is the goal that he or she want to achieve. Now, how the organization is helping or assisting that particular employee in achieving that level. Okay, that is your career progression goal. Okay, so as you can see in this slide, career development we have tried to understand with a model. Okay, and it consists of your role of organization as well as the role of the employee, and how the employee roles and employee aspiration are matching up with the organizational goals, and how the career development program are initiated by the organizational level. Moving beyond, career development involves, what are the things that career development involves, or what are the constituents of the career development? As you can see in this slide, very first one is your need assessment, career need assessment. Now, the career need assessment is with respect to the individual employee. What are their need, what are their motivation, what are their aptitude, what are their abilities and potentials, okay, through which an organization can understand that which employee is having what need assessment. Okay. Suppose last example we have taken, employee X. Employee X want to like go from the lower level towards the middle level in 10 years, and it may be after 25 years they can move towards the higher level or the top level. So, this shows the aptitude or the abilities of the employee X and how the organization is contributing towards like achieving the career goals. Okay. So, it is a need assessment, what are the requirement or what are the aspiration of an employee. Second is career opportunities, like how an employee X or a individual employee will be able to know it. Okay. So, it will be through job description, job specification, job redesign. Now, job description, suppose employee want to join any company, okay, there is a vacant post of vice president sales, for example, all right. So, in the selection process and the recruitment process, what we have seen, the management can hire the employee from internal as well as external sources. Now, in this case, the vice president sales, the position can be filled through internal sources, that you are like promoting level or your employee towards that position, all right. Now, what will be the criteria, what will be the eligibility criteria for an employee to be the vice president in the sales department? That specify your career opportunities. Okay. So, job description, very first one is like for any kind of vacant post, what are the requirement one employee should be having, that describe the job role, okay, what the employees are expected to perform. Okay. Job specification is with respect to once the employees are recruited to that particular post, what are their like duties, responsibilities, accountabilities, okay, how much authority that employee will be having, all right. So, it will be with respect to the nature of the activities to be performed in a particular job. Job redesign is with respect to your job enrichment, job enlargement, and your job rotation. All right. Job enrichment is with respect to like you are adding more responsibility, more activities within a particular post, but at the same time you are also granting additional authority to perform that job. Okay. Job enlargement is with respect to the same criteria, but you are not granting additional authority to that particular post or that particular activity. And job rotation is like how you are like giving, it is a part of the training program, like employee X and employee Y, both are having the different specialization. Employee X is like having the skill of technical skills, whereas employee Y is more of the human skill. Okay. Now, you are exchanging the job or like rotating the job of both the employee, okay, by providing some kind of training and development program. So, it will help in like getting more advanced skill, like employee X will be getting more human skill, whereas employee Y will be more proficient in the technical aspects. Okay. So, job opportunity or the career opportunity is how an employee will be getting the detailed information. Okay. Like now coming back to the example, the company want to hire employee at sales department for the position of vice president. Okay. Now, all the employee are having the knowledge that what are the essential job description, as mentioned we have discussed, what are the essential job specification, and how job redesign as a strategy can be helpful in getting more knowledge to perform the duty of vice president. Okay. So, the holistic knowledge or the information of an employee will be through the career opportunities. So, employee will be having an idea that these are the things we need to acquire to be at the higher position. Now, need opportunity, third one is need opportunity alignment. It means like suppose again employee A want to become the vice president sales, like he is targeting in like 15 years. Now, what are the roles of the organization to achieve that particular career goal? Is the techniques or the individualized techniques, like the employee will be given some kind of training and development program, okay, or some kind of like the aspiration of the employee is very high, or the employee is very ambitious to perform all the activities, and at the same time learning aspects should be also very high. So, management should identify those set of the employees, and they should provide individual or a technique of learning their skill set, okay, by sending them through some kind of seminar or the workshop or some kind of simulation technique, or calling up some kind of expert who can deliver lectures on the career counseling or some kind of career progression and all. So, this will help the employee in like getting proficient about the particular job role. Performance appraisal at the same time, like if the employee is outperforming, how the management is like recognizing that potential. Okay. Management by objective, it means the concept of like reconciling the individual objective with the organizational objective that we have discussed as a separate technique given by Peter Drucker. And career counseling, it is the same thing, like it may be it is a qualitative aspect where the employees are given some kind of counseling or some kind of motivational thing that will help them in like going towards the right direction. Okay. And the last one is your monitoring career moves, like monitoring progress against the predetermined goals. Like if employee A is like performing all the hard work to become the vice president sales, okay. So, it may be with the proper techniques and all, proper guidance, proper allocation of the resources, it may be that the employee A is not like going into that direction, because it could be the deviation will be there, it will be very obvious. So, the last step will be towards monitoring the activity, like the management should be having a close observation that whether the employee is going into the right direction or not, by having the proper monitoring or the controlling technique. Okay. So, the career development is something which is very holistic, it is not like enhancing the abilities of a manager towards only one direction, okay, or like meeting out the employee needs and aspiration and what their career aspiration or what they want to become, and the role of the organization towards achieving those things. Okay. It is a wider concept, and it is a long process, and it is a continuous process. Okay. So, I hope the concept of the career development is clear, as we have discussed with some examples. And with this slide, we will be trying to understand how the career development program can be made more effective and more transparent, so that employee can get more benefit out of it. Very first one, as you can see, creating awareness about the individual strength and the weaknesses. Sometimes employee working in the group, they do not have the sufficient knowledge about how they will be, or what are their strength and the weaknesses. Okay. So, it is very important that the employees should be guided that these are your strong points, and one should be working on that particular skill set that will help them in achieving higher career goals. Or there are some aspect one should be try to develop. Okay. So, as an individual employee, many times you do not have the knowledge about your own potential. All right. So, it is very important that the awareness campaign should be done to make the career development program more effective. Next is developing appreciation of organizational constraints. All right. So, whatever the constraints are there within the organizational structure, it should be the manager or the company should be trying to resolve it. For example, suppose there is a superior subordinate relationship, for example. So, the subordinate is very ambitious to outperform, but at the same time the subordinate is want to excel their performances, but the superior is somehow is not giving full attention or ignoring the activities. Okay. So, this become the barriers or the constraint that will be limiting the career development program. Third one is caring for the development of the employee. Okay, it is the same thing, how you are realizing the development of the employees, and you are understanding that how these things are very much crucial for the overall organizational benefit. Fourth one, developing appropriate career plans. Like an expert should be there who can, a booklet can be prepared, and all the information should be given and should be distributed towards every employee, that how they are within the organization, how they can achieve higher results or the promotion part. Okay. And based on that, they can perform their, or they can design their career plans. Last one is supporting by providing fair and equal opportunities. So, it talks about the initiative as one of the principles. It talks about the equality that we have already discussed. Okay. So, these points should be implemented by the organization to have advanced career development program. Moving beyond, the performance appraisal. So, this is the outcome of the career development program, we can call it. Career development program is how the organization is playing a crucial role in developing the career plan of an employee. Okay. It is at the individualistic level. At the same time, their needs and aspiration are also very important, the employee's needs and aspiration. Okay. So, let us try to understand the concept of the career performance appraisal. According to Shubin, performance appraisal is a systematic appraisal of the employee personality traits and performances in the firm. Okay. So, it is something that an organization is monitoring and evaluating based on the overall performance of an employee. Okay. It implies systematic and formal evaluation of the individual concerning their job performance and potential for the development. Okay. So, we will be getting more details of the performance appraisal and trying to understand how the concept of the performance appraisal is different from the job evaluation. All right. So, performance appraisal is how the for example, the employee or the organization has set a particular standard, okay, and based on that standard the goals of the organization are set out. All the employees are given a particular set of activities that we have like understood under the principle of like division of the work. Each employee will be given a particular task, okay, employee X, Y, Z, okay, this is the total work. X will be having a clarity about the work, same for the Y and for the Z. Now, X for example is assigned a particular task. Now, X will be judged or X will be evaluated upon the task, how the task has been performed based on the meeting out the different standards. If X is outperforming their duty, its duty, then it will be positive performance appraisal. X will be given some kind of rewards or the incentives. If it is not meeting up the standards or the quality of the work, then it may be that some kind of negative appreciation will be there. All right. So, performance appraisal is some kind of incentive based program for the employees who are performing well within the organization. Now, the key differences, sometimes we call it as the job evaluation. Job evaluation and the performance appraisal both are same thing, but let us try to understand the point of differences. Job evaluation involves the determination of worth of different jobs. Okay. So, what are the different activities need to be performed is the job evaluation. Okay. For example, employee X is given some kind of task with respect to like purchase of raw material from the supplier. Okay. Now, different kind of activities that need to be performed or different worth of the job specification that will be performed will be your job evaluation. Okay. Now, the performance appraisal, measurement of the worth of the individual towards an organization. Now, how X has performed his duty with respect to the purchase of raw material from the supplier. Now, two different thing will be there. One will be like the employee X is like purchasing the raw material with good negotiation skills, like they will be getting all the raw material within the time limit. All right. The quality of the raw material is as mentioned in the standardized quality of the raw material. Okay. So, these things, if these things are meeting out, there will be positive performance appraisal. And if suppose the quality of the raw material is not good, the ability of the manager, that is X, with respect to the negotiation is very poor, and at the same time vendor or the supplier is not delivering the raw material within the time frame. So, it will goes against the employee X and there will be negative performance appraisal. Okay. So, in this way we can call it is different from the job evaluation. Job evaluation focuses on the job, while is job appraisal is on the performances and the potential of the employee. It aims to determine the basic wage rate for the different job evaluation. Job performances or the job appraisal aims to determine the incentive or the reward given to the employee. So, how efficiently the manager or the employee has performed the task will be under the purview of the job appraisal or the performance appraisal. These are some of the benefit of the performance appraisal. Test effectiveness of the staffing function. All right. Provide a systematic record of the employee performances, all the employees activities are assigned and how they are performing their activity is the job of the performance appraisal. So, it will list down like all the activities, how they are performed. There will be record of the employee that over a period of time whether the performance has increased or decreased. Okay. So, it will help them or the employee or the organization as well in monitoring the totality of the work performed by each individual. Next is help in incentive and wage differentiation. If employee are performing good, their wage can be revised, or it can be like higher wage payment can be done, as well as if they are not performing well, maybe some kind of wage cut will be there. Facilitate training and development of the employee. Like it may be that some employees are not performing well, but through training and development program they can excel their performances. Okay. So, organization can plan based on the performance appraisal of the employee, act as a controlling device, like within a year or within the project based employee will be monitored based on how they have performed their activity. So, performance appraisal is act as a controlling technique as well. Okay. And the last one is the limitation or the loopholes or the shortcomings of the performance appraisal. Like very first one is it is based on the quantitative parameter only, like what output you have achieved, what are the different kind of result that you have achieved. It is based on the numbers. Okay. Whereas the qualitative factors of an employee, qualitative like how you are managing the conflict, will not be shown in the performance appraisal. Okay. But it is an important aspect within the group activity. Okay. Second is the halo effect. It may be like there are different ratings in the performance appraisal, and rating of one factor is leading towards the influence on the other factors. Okay, is the halo effect. So, you will not able to determine that under the performance appraisal one activity is influencing the other activity could be there, and it will be very difficult for the management to like measure it, that what factor is leading towards which factor. Non-uniformity of the standards, like in some of the organization non-standard activity are there, and it leads towards the like comparison between the two employees for different non-standard factors. It could lead towards the like different performance appraisal. Okay. Overemphasizing one quality, like it is something which is very subjective. Suppose the manager is of technical nature, they will be like looking, or they will be having the positive mindset of those employee who are very skilled at technical skills or the technical parameters. But since the controlling manager is of technical nature, he is a specialist in technical nature, the employee may not be having a detailed knowledge about the other skill set. Okay. So, there could be biasness as well, and it is a very complex process, like employee need to go through, like at the very start of the project they will be having something in the mind, like they will be controlled, or they will be having or their wage or their reward incentive will be based on these performance appraisal techniques. So, they will be like not able to perform very efficiently, they will be under pressure. Okay. So, it is something which is very complex in terms of the methodology as well, that we have taken the example of the halo effect. Okay. So, a non-standardization of the activities. So, procedural part may be very complex for the organization, and the implementation part may be very complex for the individual employees. So, with this we close this particular topic, and we have so far in this module try to understand about the very basic concept about the career development. Okay. We have thoroughly understand about the very process part, what are different kind of activities or nature of the activities to be performed. We have understand in depth regarding the performance appraisal, what are the benefits, okay, and what are the shortcoming of the performance appraisal. That with this we end the part 6, and in the upcoming session we will be discussing the part 7, that is the motivation, and I leave you with some of the suggested books, you can go through it. That is all for the session. Thank you.